Craig Young, and welcome to another exciting edition of Superstars of the Ring here at ccwrestling.biz. Craig, we're going to focus quite a bit this week on a few topics, and most notably something that we haven't gone a great bit of detail in, but we're going to this week is the Alternative Championship.
Okay.
Now, as you know, Christian Evans is the Alternative Champion, and he's been involved with a lot of great matches with a former champion, Skylark, and several multi-man matches. Well, we're going to go in a different direction with him right now, as they're going to go into a best-of-3 series.
Okay.
Okay. The match number 1 will be January 10th in Callahan, Florida. Then match number 2 will be January 24th in Abbeville, Georgia. Okay. And should there be a need for match number 3, it's going to take place at Stampede on February 7th in Waycross, Georgia.
Now, for them to get to Stampede, one of them has to either not go 2-0, or they're going to have to split it 1-1 to see a fantastic match at Stampede. And that's what I want to see.
Right. If it goes to a complete sweep on the 24th in Abbeville, Georgia, then there will not be a third match. But the competitive nature of these two, I have to believe that they're going to push it all the way to the limit. And I would love nothing more than to see match number 3 at Stampede.
Well, over the last year, they've had trade-offs of wins back and forth.
Right.
Again, as you stated, many multi-man matches. Anybody that's come to a live event for Continental Championship Wrestling has seen just the amount of talent these two have. You will not see anything more of a faster-paced match. Just the level of athletic competition between these two is off the page.
It's absolutely brilliant every time. Let's explain a little bit more about the Alternative Championship, because we don't really get to focus on it that much too. Now, as you know, the Alternative Championship is pretty much exactly what it says. It's not a straightforward championship like, say, the Southern States or the CCW Championship or anything like that. Each one of the matches follow a non-traditional style. And in this case, it's going to be the actual best-of-3 series itself is the non-traditional style. And I am absolutely looking forward to every second and every bit of these two gentlemen put into the ring.
Yep. Every one of these matches are live events, high-octane events. If you're sitting in the first 2 or 3 rows, you have a chance of actually having a couple of these guys in your lap. And just the competitors of our alternative division are just the best in CCW, in my opinion. They're the fastest kids, fastest competitors in wrestling today.
Now, like we said, match number 1 will be taking place on January the 10th in Callahan, Florida. Someone else we're going to be seeing in Callahan, Florida on, switching gears for a moment. Someone else we're going to be seeing in Callahan, Florida that night.
The coach.
Is the coach of the West Nassau Warriors.
Warrior Pride, baby.
The Machine
Warrior
Fred
Pride.
Avery. CCW legend, the Machine Fred Avery, as he will be challenging our CCW champion, Mayhem Julian Marcs.
Yep. Now, Julian Marcs, again, on his kind of tandem of just attacking everybody in Continental Championship Wrestling. Fred Avery was lucky enough to sign up, get a match in Callahan.
If you mind for a second, sure. I got to tell you, Fred Avery is not something I think you can get away with attacking from behind. I mean, he towers over Julian Marcs, and Julian Marcs is no little man himself. He is a stocky, mean, just vicious individual, and it's kind of hard for someone the size of Fred Avery to not know that he's there. So to see them in action is going to be quite a spectacle.
The other side I pick up to that is Julian Marcs on this tangent for respect. Fred Avery's been in this business well over 20 years.
Yep.
If you're going to go ahead and try to knock off somebody from respect, I understand why he wants to come knock on Fred Avery's door, but Fred Avery will probably knock him out.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is January 10th in Callahan, Florida. Speaking of Julian Marcs, we're going to see him in action this week, and what is a little bit of a different pace for him. He's going to take on Romeo de la Guerra, and the ending of the match is quite...
Well, hey, before we get to that, let's hear from Fred Avery first.
West Nassau High School, this is the Machine, Fred Avery, and I'm telling you right now, January 10th, Callahan, Florida, West Nassau High School, the Machine, Fred Avery, gets his opportunity. I've been around CCW for a long time, and this is the first time I get my opportunity for the CCW World Heavyweight Championship. Julian Marcs, you better tighten it up, buddy. You better get ready. You know, a lot of people around Callahan are starting to know about the Machine. They know that I help out with the wrestling team, that I help out with the football team. They know me in that area. Julian Marcs, you've been going around, you've been jumping people from behind, you've been hurting people. Well, you haven't got hold of me yet. And you're not going to, because right there, West Nassau County High School, January 10th. I'm going to get you right smack in the middle of the ring, and I'm going to do something that I've never done before. After 30 years, I'm going to win the CCW World's Heavyweight Championship. Get ready. I'm coming.
Well, there you have it, Craig. The Machine Fred Avery with some very interesting words for Mayhem Julian Marcs and for everybody really, as he will be challenging Mayhem on January 10th once again at in Callahan.
Before we even jump further on that, because we're here to promote a wrestling event, but I just want to do a special thing on. I talk about Fred Avery for a moment. Fred Avery, on his own personal time, giving back to the community
Quite a bit.
Yeah, he coaches Callahan's wrestling team, the Warriors. To take time out from wrestling to kind of help these kids that could be future, CCW superstars or, anywhere else, is just an amazing thing for Fred to do.
He's absolutely setting an example, not for his team, but, for potential future wrestlers for many years to come.
Right. Now, as good as a deed as Fred Avery does, I have to now look back at Julian Marcs, and we'll bring this back up, because he is going to be wrestling him at January 10th in Callahan.
If that's what you want to call it.
What most people know about me is I started here roughly 10 years ago. I was here on Julian Marcs' first day. Him and his brother came in from California, this happy-go-lucky tag team, just all smiles. Hey, we're going to do the beer run. And the crowds were really excited to see these two. And as his career progressed, the fans were really excited to be Julian Marcs. Just when he'd come out, big cheers, big smiles. I took some time off from this company via Pink Slip. Where did he go from being this happy-go-lucky superstar, former U.S. champion, or Southern States champion, excuse me, and had some of the best matches I'd ever seen in my career, to now this dark personality, this guy that's just demanding respect? It's just, I missed something along this line.
I'm not gonna, I've said it many times, I'm not even going to begin to try and get into the psyche of Julian Marcs. Something deep-rooted in him snapped a number of years ago, and it's, I don't know if it's built up over time, or if he just decided, he wanted to go in a different direction, because he's clearly decided to go into business himself.
Well, we've talked about it. He's jumped many superstars. And I brought this up a couple weeks ago. You were on the road with him. You were his friend for the longest time. He jumped you.
I know. I've been here just as long as he has.
Yeah, look how many other guys down the locker room he's jumped. Chris Turner.
Mad Dog Miller.
Mad Dog Miller.
That was one of his most prominent victims.
These are all guys that when I started here, I watched him tag team with. I watched him learn from. To just suddenly this dark personality. He's just evil.
He's beyond words, and I'm not even going to get any more personal than I have in the past. But I will talk a little bit more, if you don't mind. I'm going to talk a little bit more about someone else who took it personal, and somebody who he's crossed paths with on more than one occasion. Somebody whose career he almost ended, and that is the Outlaw Jamie McKinnon. Now, as you know, the Outlaw Jamie McKinnon is one unpredictable gentleman, and I've had the distinction of interviewing him many times, and I got to tell you, he's left me absolutely, just completely speechless every time I've interviewed him.
He left me laying in the ring many times over the years.
Well, and that notwithstanding, I got to tell you, he's laid out quite a few people, and he doesn't pull any punches.
No.
The Outlaw Jamie McKinnon is definitely one who speaks his mind and he acts his mind. And Julian Marcs, attacked him. He was one of Julian Marcs' victims, if you will.
So we have close to 30 guys on our roster right now that are active, on top of all the inactive guys that are on the injured reserve because of Julian Marcs.
Not to mention, there's plenty of people in our training center that are coming in as well, and he's a tax student.
Stampede is coming up.
Yep. On February 7th in Waycross, Georgia.
Stampede is coming up. Now, for years, Stampede has always been one of our marquee events here in Continental Championship Wrestling.
Absolutely.
$10,000 Battle Royal. And the winner would eventually get a shot at the CCW Championship down the road. That's kind of been changed this year, and it's been changed in the last few years. We're going to start out that show with a Battle Royal. Every member of our locker room that wants to get into this match is in it. People Julian Marcs has jumped. And again, we've talked about it, just wrestlers, personalities, referees. Some concessions guy, I'm sure, has got it sooner, in one of our cities, just for no reason.
Well, if you make Julian Marcs' hot dog wrong, that's what's going to happen.
That's the thing. All of these guys want Julian Marcs. And I don't think anymore it's not $10,000. It's not the championship. They want their opportunity to get their hands on Julian Marcs.
You may even say that they want blood.
I think they do want blood. When in the entire company history has $10,000, the CCW championship, when has that ever taken a back burner to getting your hands on one guy in this company?
Well, Craig, it's good that you asked that, because that just proves that in this industry that pride means a hell of a lot more than, excuse my language, it means a lot more than it does money. And in this instance, there are a lot of guys who are, they have to defend their own pride. And I mentioned Jamie McKinnon for a reason, because he comes into play in this week's match. Now, Julian Marcs is defending the CCW Championship against Romeo de la Gurerra in a very well-fought contest. And Jamie McKinnon does make his presence known, but it doesn't stop there. I don't want to give away exactly what happens, but it all really ties in to what you're talking about, the importance of the Battle Royal at Stampede. And
why don't we go to this week's match?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and go to the action?
And then we'll cover it at the end.
Just didn't want him to get run over because there's getting ready to be a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
before me due to outside interference. He is throwing this match out. Therefore, there is no winner.
everybody jumping into the ring to get a piece of Julian Marcs' head.
Right. I didn't need to look. I was right
You're
there.
sitting at ringside.
Yeah.
What does it take, man?
Look.
$10,000.
Nothing.
A championship.
I
Now, I
don't
get it.
need money.
As a personality, I understand. That doesn't mean a whole lot to you.
Look,
But a shot at Julian Marcs. This guy beat you up. What type of man are you? He beat you up and left you on the ground.
I am a personality who knows I might be personality of the year one year, and I don't want to do it with a black eye.
Yeah, maybe 2015.
Yeah.
14, I'm owning that one.
I don't.
Again,
I don't live in the past.
this is what today's CCW looks like. Everybody, it's not the title anymore.
Craig, look, nothing would please me more than to get in there, and there's no question that I would be a grotesque underdog. I mean, Julian Marcs is twice my size, but it's not even that. I mean, I'm not a wrestler. I'm not even going to profess to be. I have trained in the ring a little bit, and I found my calling in front of the cameras, and to call the matches in front of our great CCW fans. It's not about getting beat up or anything like that. I've been beat up a million times before in my life. It's
an opportunity. That is what that is. That is an opportunity. If I could still be clear to get in the ring, I'd be jumping all about it. Blue mask and all if I could find one. That is an opportunity. In this business, this is all they keep, every opportunity counts. That guy left you laying there.
Yeah.
Now that's our champion, and he left you as a broadcaster laying there.
I'll tell you what, it is something to consider. It absolutely is, and I won't begrudge you that. But I mean, when push comes to shove, I don't, it's not my job.
That's fair.
It is definitely something to consider. And with that being said, we saw what happened with that melee.
I'm just watching every one of these matches, the entire locker room at the end of these matches,
And a few people actually got their hands on him.
They
I saw
did.
that. And
look at them. They want blood. They want blood, and they want Julian Marcs' head. That's our champion. When have you, in the entire time you've been in this company, the entire time I've been in this company,
as long as Julian's
been in this company, I've never seen our locker room so focused on getting one guy. Julian Marcs has a bounty on his head, and Stampede, somebody's going to collect. That all this bits he want for respect and what he's pushing for. 20 guys, at least 20 guys are going to be in that battle royal.
look.
Somebody's going to win it, and whoever wins it is going to want it bad enough to try to take his head off.
Look, there is absolutely no doubt that on February 7th in Waycross, Georgia, Stampede is going to be the most explosive Stampede of all time. I have no doubt about it. I'm not in any position to say whether or not I'll be in it, but like you said, there are also 20 plus other guys that definitely are going to be going, not just for each other, but more importantly for Julian Marcs. And so we only have to kind of wait out and see how that plays out. And until then,
It's the end of the year. Let's table this for now.
All right.
It's the end of the year. This is our last episode for 2014. We just want to say thank you from Continental Championship Wrestling. We hope to see you at all the live events in 2015, especially starting January 10th in Callahan. That's going to be the big kickoff show for Continental Championship Wrestling as we pretty much head up the southeast the first quarter of 2015. So from Brian Blitz, I'm Craig Young. Be safe, don't drink and drive.
And we will see you at ringside.